This video is about a very important concept called simplifying fractions. By the end of this video, you should be able to write a fraction in its most simplest form. So let's take a look at what that looks like. When we're trying to simplify fractions, it just means to write an equivalent fraction using smaller numbers. We can do this by dividing our numerator and denominator by the highest common factor of the two. Let's take a look at an example to see what that means. Here I'm being asked to simplify 2 over 8. That means write an equivalent fraction to 2/8, but using smaller numbers than the 2 and the 8. To do this, I must find the highest common factor of 2 and 8 and then divide. I could also say find a number that will divide evenly into both 2 and 8 that is the biggest number. In this case, it's going to be 2. If I divide 2 by 2, I'll get 1. And if I divide 8 by 2, I'll get 4. I now have an equivalent fraction using smaller numbers. 2/8 simplifies to 1/4. Let's take a look at a diagram to see how this works. Here I have 8 equal parts and I've shaded in 2 of them. This is 2/8. I have the same shape, but this time it's divided up into quarters. What you'll notice is that the area that is shaded in both of these shapes is exactly the same. That is that 2/8 and 1/4 are the same size. Let's take a look at 3/9 and see how we're going to simplify this. What I want to do is find the highest common factor of 3 and 9 and then divide. I can see that 3 will divide evenly into 3 and 9, so that is what I'm going to be dividing by. 3 divided by 3 will give me 1, and 9 divided by 3 will give me 3. This means that 3/9 can be simplified to 1/3. They are the same size. They just use smaller numbers. Let's take a look at an interesting case of 15 over 20. Here I can see that both numbers will be divided by a highest common factor of 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 5 and 15 and 5 into 20. This will give me a simplified fraction of 3/4. The last one I want to have a look at in this video is 16 out of 20. And what happens when you don't divide by the highest common factor? Now, the highest common factor of 16 and 20 we might think is 2. So we might try and divide by 2 from our numerator and denominator and get 8/10. But what we notice here is that 8 and 10 also have a common factor, which means it can be divided by another number. We can divide it by 2 again. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 2 and get my simplified fraction of 4 over 5. Please note that I could have easily have divided by 4 from my original fraction to get 4/5. That would have been the highest common factor. So what should you write in simplifying fractions? Well, an important part is a definition about what it means to simplify, and then how to do it by dividing the numerator and denominator by the highest common factor. Getting the 3 examples that we wrote down would be a good idea as well. Pause the video, write down what's on the screen, and get ready for the work in tomorrow's lesson. And that's it. Hopefully you know what a fraction is in its simplest form means, and then hopefully you can do it by yourself tomorrow. Good luck.